Biggest mistake business owners make is thinking they need to reinvent the wheel.
Most people don't realize that all the successful companies are running the same core systems.
That's why we're hosting the Home Service Hoorah, September 7th, 8th, and 9th in beautiful Pensacola Beach, Florida.
We're giving away the exact systems, playbooks, and operations we use to scale to multi-seven figures.
You're learning from real business owners that have been there and done that.
People who are in your exact position and scaled their business without losing everything.
Tickets will sell out, so register now at homeservicehoorah.com. Again, that's homeservicehoorah.com. Most leaders don't realize they're bleeding money and morale every single day because they have the wrong people in the wrong seats. So, how do you know the difference between someone who won't do the job and someone who can't? Well, that's what we're talking about in today's episode of Freedom Blueprint Podcast.
Running a home service business is hard. So how is it that some people make it look so easy? Well, we'll tell you. This is the Freedom Blueprint Podcast. It's always good to hear the wins that successful contractors have. But have you ever thought that the best advice would be to hear about the speed bumps they encountered, the mistakes they've made along the way? We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. We want you to be successful and avoid the mistakes others have made. Let's get this party started. Welcome to the Freedom Blueprint Podcast. Now your host, Justin Deese.
Welcome back to the Freedom Blueprint Podcast. Today, we're talking about one of the biggest leadership mistakes I see in home service businesses, and honestly, most businesses, period. You've got people in seats they were never meant to sit in. And the crazy part, most leaders don't even realize it's happening. Today, we're breaking down the difference between can't and won't. And more importantly, what do you do about it? When I was a kid, I knew without a doubt I was going to be a professional baseball player. I wasn't hoping. I wasn't dreaming. I knew it. I had the willingness. I had the drive. I thought I had the ability. I showed up. I trained. I did everything a kid could do to make that happen. But as I started to grow up, I realized something that changed everything. I absolutely had the willingness. I just didn't have the ability. And here's the thing that matters. No amount of coaching, no amount of training, nothing anybody could have done would have changed that. It wasn't because I wasn't willing. It wasn't because I didn't try hard enough. I just didn't have what it took to play at that level. And that doesn't make me a bad person. It means I wasn't the right fit for that level of team. That's the insight that matters for your business. So let's break this down. So since that dream didn't happen, now here I am on the podcast talking and hanging out with you, which is fun. I like it. So listen, there's two things that determine whether someone can do a job: ability or willingness. Willingness is easy to spot. That's someone who shows up, who cares, who wants to do the work. They're engaged and they're trying. But willingness alone isn't enough. You also need the ability. Ability is skill, the talent, the capacity to actually do the job at the level the business needs it done. Here's what most leaders get wrong. They think if someone has the willingness, they can coach them into ability. And sometimes that's true. You can develop skills, but there is a ceiling. There's a point that no amount of coaching, no amount of training, no amount of motivation can change the fact that someone doesn't have what it takes to do that role. That's not their fault. That's not your fault. It's just the reality. And the sooner you accept that reality, the sooner you can actually do something about it. So how do you tell the difference? Here's what you look for. If it's a willingness problem, you'll usually see inconsistency. They can do the job when they're motivated, but they slack off when things get hard or when you're not watching. They've got the skill, they just don't always apply it. An ability problem looks different. They're trying, they're putting in the effort, but the results just aren't there. They're doing everything you ask, and it's still just not good enough. That's ability. They want to succeed, but they're hitting a wall that they can't break through. The difference matters because your response has to be different. Once you figure out it's an ability issue, you've got to make a decision as a leader. And this is where most leaders drop the ball. You got two paths. Path one is a different seat on the bus for this person. Do you have another role where their ability actually matches what the job needs. Maybe they're great at customer service, but struggling in a tech role. Maybe they're fantastic one-on-one, but can't lead a team. If there's a seat where they fit, move them there. Give them a chance to succeed, because as a leader, that is your job, is to clear the path for them. Path 2, they need a different bus. Sometimes there's no seat on your bus that fits their ability, and that's okay too. But you have to make that call. You can't leave them sitting in a seat where they're set up to fail. That's not fair to them, and it's not fair to your team. It's not personal, it's just business. It's about fit. Here's what you do as a leader. First, diagnose this thing honestly. Is it a willingness problem or an ability problem? Second, if it's an ability problem, have the conversation. Don't dance around it. Be clear and direct. Here's what this role requires. Here's what I'm seeing. I don't think this is the right fit for you. Third, offer a path forward. Either there's a different role or it's time for them to find a different opportunity. Either way, you're taking action. You're not leaving them in limbo. And you're not sacrificing your team's performance because you're uncomfortable making a tough call. So let's bring this home. When someone on your team is struggling, the most important question you can ask isn't, why don't they work harder? Is it a can't or a won't? Is it ability or willingness? Because those two are completely different problems, and they deserve two completely different responses. If it's willingness, you can't coach that. If it's ability, you've got a decision to make. Can you coach them up? Are they in the right seat? Or do they need to find a different bus? And also, remember this. This was never about whether someone's a good person or not. Listen, I was as willing as they come. I still wasn't built to play at that level. That didn't make me a failure. It just meant I was in the wrong seat. Or technically, in this case, the wrong bus. Your job as a leader is to have the courage to see it clearly and the heart to handle it correctly. Get that part down, everything else changes. Your culture, your performance, your team. It all starts to take care of itself. So listen, thank you for joining me today on Freedom Blueprint Podcast. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes, and share this with a fellow leader who needs to hear it. Until next time, keep leading, keep growing, and as always, keep crushing it.
You've been listening to the Freedom Blueprint Podcast. Information is useless if not applied. So take what you've learned and go and implement it. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on social media at Freedom Blueprint for Home Services, and hit the website at www.freedomblueprintpodcast.com. See you next time.